I'm going to chant is from the chapter 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, shloka number 19. Bahunai janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Krishna is saying, after many births and deaths, the man who is in supreme knowledge, he surrenders to me. If he surrenders to me, knowing to be the cause of all causes, and that is all. So if that man, such a man, to find that man, such a soul is very rare. The second shloka I'm going to recite is from the chapter 6, shloka number 19. Yatha deepo nivatasto nengate sopama smrita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanah. Just as a lamp in a windless place does not waver, likewise, a steady mind, whose mind is controlled, a transcendentalist, he whose mind is controlled, it will be remaining always steady in transcendental meditation and always be steady, just like the lamp. The third shloka is from Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, chapter number 9, shloka number 1. Idantu Shri Bhagavanuvacha Idantu te guhyatamam pravakshyam yanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat. The Supreme Lord said, "Oh, my dear Arjuna, you don't have any envy. You are not envious of me. I am going to impart you the supreme knowledge and supreme wisdom, out of which you will be relieved from the material existence miseries." Jai Shri Krishna. The last question was posted here was why Bhagavad Gita is necessary for mankind. Bhagavad Gita has everything. Whether you want to know about leadership, to lead an ideal life, you want to lead a disciplinary life, to focus and to have a peaceful life, have mind control, bhakti, love, jnana, everything is explained in Bhagavad Gita. From small kids to elders, to lead a good life and with character and to follow the culture and also to make sure our life is lived properly, we need Bhagavad Gita for every day. So Bhagavad Gita is most important book and we all have to practice and lead by chanting the verses and also impart the knowledge of meaning later on in our life. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna.
Beautiful, beautiful mantra. Well said and beautiful recitation. Really loved it.
Thank you.
So I'll ask Saurabh ji if you want to read 3 shlokas and explain the meaning. That will be really wonderful.
Actually, I will read it out because I just joined it at randomly. I'm sorry for that. Yada yada hi dharmasya
Perfectly right,
glanirvavati.
Saurabh. Saurabh, just a second. It doesn't matter you read or you memorize. It's not about that. It's the whole essence you get out of it and the way of pronunciation. It's all good. Keep it up.
Yes, thank you. I'll be reading a shloka from chapter 4, 7th shloka. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuthar abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamayam. The meaning of this is whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata and a prominent rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So here for me, Aditya Sangiji is the one who is like Krishna to me. Like on this distant land, I found him um, as a faith who is actually who is guiding us in this difficult terrain. Like I can't explain it, but I found some irreligious activity over here. Even everyone is saying that America is a developed country, but still I find some light by reading Bhagavad Gita and by listening to Aditya Sanghi's talks. Then uh, I will read. I'm sorry, just because I have just started reading the Gita. I'll read from chapter 2, Shloka 2. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Kutat Kutastatva Kutastva Kashmal Mindam Kashmal Midam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Jushtham Aswargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. The meaning is the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjun, have you how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy." So this shloka came when uh, Arjuna was um asking the question like why one should kill all the relatives. So Bhagwan Uvach, like Bhagwan said that they were doing all the irreligious activity. So to establish the dharma, you have to fight irrespective of their relationship with that person. So even in in Ramayana, the fight was between two families. Like Ravana has its own entitled kingdom, um, but in the Mahabharata, the fight started amongst the within the family, where the brothers themselves start um, doing all the irreligious activity under the and in the name of the rules. So it is just destroying the dharma. So, so Bhagwan says to continue doing the dharma. So dharma is like a flower. The dharma of flower is to blossom. The dharma of bee is to collect the nectar, and the dharma of nectar is to form fruit out of that and again reproduce. So if one uh, devoid of this dharma, then the destruction will start eventually. So this is the how Lord Krishna mentioned that you should be sticking to the dharma, not the relationship, which is happening uh, during your lifetime. Um, I will read third shloka from chapter 3, verse 9. Yagnartha karmano
Nyatra.
नत्र नत्र लोको यम कर्म बंधनः तदर्थम कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्ता संग समाचर. So the meaning is work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondages. Um, so, uh, in Bharata, most of the people were actually dharmic. So, whatever work they do is done in the name of Bhagwan only. But here, most of the atheist philosophies or philosophers were saying that Bhagwan is not there. Then, whatever work they are doing, they eventually conclude after a lot of time that this is not the way one should do it. For example, uh, uh, the use of petrochemicals. So petroleum, they extracted the petroleum, they started using it for the beneficial of so industrialization and for the motility in the vehicles. But now the consequences of excess petroleum leads to the accumulation of more of the crude waste, and now they transferred that crude waste to the plastics, and now we are getting plastics everywhere. So as a biology student, I know there are few group of people who are working on identifying the nanoplastics present in the even in the microbes or microbial world. So we are eventually getting the plastic, and they are deteriorating our life. So if we were little bit conscious before using the crude oil or petrochemical, then these conditions would not have been occurred. So uh, again, one example. So we know in Shastra, Vimanas were there. We would have produced Vimanas in a lot. Like we know the theory, but we didn't approve it, or we know the stories also that Rama traveled from Lanka to Ayodhya within a short period of time in the Vimana. So there must be existential reality of Vimanas, but we must have stopped using that, because most of the creation would have disturbed because of that. So the word Vimana is there, but practically we don't used it. But now, because we are the Western world used it unconsciously, so now now again we are creating some different kinds of uh, hazard to the environment, and we are suffering some in a different way, in an indirect way. So this is how the I would like to conclude that if we do work and with the name of Lord, then or Bhagwan, then definitely most of our we become more conscious about what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I'll add a little bit here. You mentioned about Vimana. So Bhagavad Gita mentions very clearly that in the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that the the from the Brahmaloka down to the place where it is Natad Bhasate Suryo Na Shashanko Na Pavaka Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. And the place where I live, sorry, it is in a temple, so a little bit I have to move away from the sun. Uh, and there's so much noise inside the temple, I cannot talk. Okay, let me just move the chair on the side. I have to move here. So uh, the information is given that there is no sun or moon, because in the Shastra, in my new book also I have confirmed it, that there is only one sun and one moon. The modern theory of multiple suns is not accepted in the Veda. Natat bhasare surya na shirangana pavaka. So the only one sun and moon, and there are a lot of cosmology theories mentioned. Bhagavan Krishna has given just a hint. Like for things which are not movable, he says Meru. Meru is and the things, Meru Parvat. And so all these places are on the Bhumi. And sometimes I'll do another show. I'm not doing show on my new book because my publishers have asked me to let it sell on its own. So I'm not doing any show there. People are asking me to do a lot of shows on that book, the original address. But as I was researching the Purana and the Veda, our entire astronomy, our which we call it Vaishnav calendar, Hindu calendar, Panchang, is built on the Puranic model. Is not built on the Western model. And in that model, we calculate exact tithi. Like today is a Ekadashi just happened, and then we are in the Gita Jayanti. Today is the actual tithi in which Gita was spoken. And this period is lasts for 3-4 days, according to distant times and the places on the earth. And we still calculate as per that, and it is very accurate. Somewhere we have to bring this knowledge, and we have to develop our own yoga. I don't say science because yoga itself is science. The English word science has a very shallow meaning, because they have to include the logic and reasoning as a separate topic. But in our culture, yoga is the science. Without becoming a yogi, you cannot be a scientist. Not possible. And the word yoga is emphasized exclusively in Bhagavad Gita. Every chapter, Adi Sankaracharya ji gave these names to these chapters, and Adi Sankaracharya ji summarized in the name each word for the name, and all paramparas follow it. So those people who say the paramparas fight is not correct. Only the ignorant people in the paramparas fight. People who are knowledgeable never fight. Because Adi Sankaracharya is the guru of the Vaishnava also and Shaiva also. But the British could not understand the difference between a Shaiva and Vaishnava. So we have to completely disregard the British or European terms to understand Bhagavad Gita. We have to understand from our parampara perspective. And when we understand from our parampara perspective, then we start understanding Gita properly. Because more than understanding Gita, more important than that is to follow Gita. And you start following Gita by following Mana Mana Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So there you start. When you start remembering Bhagavan Krishna and the Yuktvavam Matparayana, and then you get Yuktvavam means that you develop Parayan in me by becoming in one in spirit with me. Yuktvavam Matparayana. Because yoga means serving the Paramatma. That is yoga. And that is the picks up, Patanjali explains so beautifully, picks up from a regular material life to Kaivalyapad, ultimate life, where you are always happy. And no shochadi, na kangshadi, you know, so it says never, no worries, no aspirations. So because that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm so inspired today in Mexico that there are so many Spanish speaking people, and there is a Gita recitation competition going on, sponsored by Sattology. And everyone is just Gita. Like I can see people remembering shloka right now everywhere around me. That's why I had to mute my come to the corner, because they're walking up the temple and just remembering the shloka. And there's so much noise, but it's a good. It's a yoga going on. It's a good thing to hear the Gita shlokas everywhere. So it is the greatest inspiration of our life. It's the greatest activity that we can perform, reading Gita, but teaching others Gita. Sonali is a teacher, and sharing this value. In fact, Sonali is known as the topmost recitator of Bhagavad Gita in San Diego. She won't accept it, but this is a reality. So Sonali would like to hear from you.
No. Aditi, that is too much. Let me be grounded. I just started 4 years back, so it's no way. I'm just at the tip of the iceberg. So please, this is too much of humbleness from your side and thinking and treating me. But yeah, no, that's not the case. But beautiful. I just wanted to make sure that both of you, Mangalaji and Saurabh, Mangalaji, the way you have memorized it, the pronunciation, the visarga, where to use what, the words, the tone in which the Gita needs to be recited, it itself is very important, because that's Nada Yoga, right? That's Nada Yoga. Through your recitation, you are helping calm a mind which is in anxiety and stress. And when the mind is calm, then you can connect to Paramatma or Krishna. So that is your strength. Then the meaning also, you have done it beautifully. So all full points, and you have been attending all the sessions, and that is your love for Krishna. So thank you so much. It was really beautiful. As far as Saurabh is concerned, actually I'm amazed. He did all the three shlokas. He is just a beginner, so the credit goes to him as well, that being a beginner also, he has the courage to come and attempt. Which, if I am a person who has been like everyday Gita person, then it's not a big deal for me to come and say, hey, this is the mantra, a shloka I want to recite. But for if I am a beginner, I will actually not attempt to come on the stage. So kudos to you, Saurabh, for that. Second, the every shloka you said, you want to make sure you explained it with an example. That's what Aditya was saying. It's not important to just chant and memorize and understand yourself. How you follow it practically in your life, Gita Atmasad Karna, through relating through your own objects. Like, for example, you said about that petroleum chemical example. You are a bio student. The objects which Krishna has, the knowledge with you is he's trying to say, okay, you understand biology, these are your objects, Vishay, petrochemical, this, that. Through that also you can link how Krishna is making you understand the meaning of the shloka. So that's the beauty. He is not dependent. Sonali is a yoga teacher. The knowledge should transcend to me through a different way of pranayama or something. Through Aditya ji, Krishna is trying to give the download that knowledge through the way he is moving around in the world. And through Saurabh, it's like biology. Through Mangala, it's something else. So that is what the beauty is. So I love both of you. I'm sorry, but I cannot give a decision. I feel both of them are the winners. That's what I can say.
I should say that Mangala ji should be the winner because I just came and read it. I am not aware, like, I just got a pop up over there on Telegram. I'm following him, so I just enter here. So I
Definitely.
don't even deserve this. So Mangala ji should be the winner from my standpoint point of view.
So sweet of you. Thank you for doing that.
So with that, we this year we had around 600 participants total, and we could not accommodate everyone in one go. We could did small groups everywhere, and there are 600 quizzes have come. 600 quizzes have been answered, and these competitions are annual. Starts at November 1st, ends on December 25th, and December 25th is usually our final. And for many reasons, we could not make it live because of the parents did not want to show their children and the online. Small children were there, many small children were there, and I respect them because it's a personal choice. But at the same time, next year also everyone should join, and November and December should be the month where we just focus on Bhagavad Gita, and is the and rest of the years months we should follow and read also. So next year we'll make it little more easy for people to join. We will do a private sessions all over the country in every city. Cities around 23 cities from US people had joined, and also there were 4 from foreign countries, like one on Tijuana in Mexico and another one was Peru, because both places Sattology is very famous. So we had people from there too. And with our reach increasing, I think we'll try to include all the countries of the world in Bhagavad Gita recitation in these 2 months. Recitation is important because that is also meditation, and Krishna's words are profound. Each and every word is profound. People say one letter, one word, one shloka can change people's lives. And one of the big examples I saw here in Mexico, there is a big problem when the church opposes the native cultures. So Deva Deva Bhavyata Nena. So where Krishna says, Pitrayanti Pitravata. So these shlokas, because ancestor worship is a common feature in all the cultures of the world. Only place it is not common is the Brahmic culture. And when they heard this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, which is the most bona fide book of spirituality on the planet, they said, oh, we were told wrong. And all these people, the 90% of the people who are reciting shloka today in front of me are reciting that shloka. And I was surprised. Why? Because ancestor worship is the most common feature in all the cultures of the world, especially those cultures which were cut off by Vedic culture due to colonization. Like the Mayan temples, they were all Hindu temples. Aztec was a Hindu culture. Native American culture is a Hindu culture. If you look at the principles of the culture, then you will find it. Native Europeans were Hindu culture. They were worshippers of Durga, Ashtar. Ashtar is Atta Shula Pranana Khadag Ketak Dharani, 8-hand Durga. So somehow this culture has been compromised due to the effect of the colonization by the Europeans. But now Europeans themselves are accepting. The vegan capital of the world is in Israel, Tel Aviv, and many of California cities now are turning vegan, and we are a proof of that. And this is a chance for us to also introduce offering our food to Paramatma. Whatever we eat, we offer it to them before we eat. Otherwise, yagya, otherwise we are stenava. If we are thieves, so that culture also has to come in. And native cultures, somehow I don't like to change people's beliefs because that's not my work. Belief can be in Mickey Mouse too, and I don't consider belief as any basis. People can believe in anything they want. They can also believe table is God. I don't want to question that. But at the same time, I want to give them an alternative based on Bhagavad Gita, which is the only book on soul. All other books are based on communities and bodies, and bodies are temporary. When we say somebody is rest in peace, I mean, what kind of peace if that person is a body? Because the insects are eating their body. There is no peace. So we have to say, we always say in Veda that he chale gaye, or we say he went to another destination, because soul always moves. Dehinosmin ethadhe kaumaram yavaram jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. So we have to understand this transmigration of soul based on the karma, because karma is the principle. If you follow karma, you are automatically dharmic. If you do not follow your karma, that means you are not dharmic. And karma, you don't have to believe in something. You believe in something when you don't know it. But when you know it, you don't have to believe in it. Because it's a very striking English, it's a play of English words. Because belief is temporary. And the belief can be substituted by knowledge. And when we say in yoga there is a five types of vritti are there: pramad, viparya, vikalpa, and smriti, nidra. These five vrittis are there: viparya and vikalpa. So without all these vritti, they work on knowledge and experience. So sometimes we have to, our knowledge system is built on experience, and that's what yoga gives us. And this is a fantastic opportunity also with the Gita festival that we organized, that we need to now in USA and the Western countries question the usage of the word yoga, which they use for asana. Asana is not yoga. Yoga is way beyond everything else. Some person may not do an asana but can be a perfect yogi because he's doing mantra jap. And some person may do an asana because their mind is not controlled. In any way, when you do Gayatri, you have to do pranayam before. In any way, because that makes your mind peaceful. So the chanting of Gayatri received from Guru and Harinam received publicly. Harinam doesn't need any diksha. These two things have to be made popular in all communities. It doesn't matter whether somebody is from India or not, because human beings deserve to know the truth. They do not, they are not, they do not be any qualification necessary. They deserve to know. And if somebody is not saying it, then we have to say it, that you need to know the truth. Goat yoga, not bona fide. Christian yoga, not bona fide. And all the yoga schools in America, affiliated yoga alliance, if they don't follow Patanjali Yoga Sutra, not bona fide. They should be banned from using the word yoga. They should just say asana. And also they also don't follow asana also. Sthiram Sukham Asanam. So when a goat is walking on a back, it is neither sthira nor sukha, because somebody's foot are on the back. So you violate the yoga sutra. You cannot be called a yogi, because yogi means mad gatenantaratmana, shraddhavan bhajate yoma mad gatenant. So the yogi is a person who is in unison with Paramatma sitting in our hearts. So in our body has Atma, as well as Paramatma. There are so many shlokas. Updrashta mantacha parta bhukta maheshwara. So the Updrashta is the Paramatma, and you are just a Drashta. So the Drashta and Upadrashta have to be established also. This is a science. And I just spoke to a great Vaishnav, Durg Singh Chauhan, today morning. He is also the NASA scientist, and he is the one who set up the HSS in America. He's a Vaishnav. 24/7 japa. Because with japa, you get Shakti. Because Bhagwan's name, form, guna, lila has the supreme power. And this is what our mission is. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithvi te ati ek nagar adi gram, sarvatra prachar hoy be mora naam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. And when I was traveling to Chile, I saw Mapuche tribe, and they were discussing Om. This is what discussion going on. No Hindu has ever reached there. I was probably the first one reached in 20 years. And Om Japa going on in southern Chile, eastern Chile, southern Bolivia, southern Uruguay, given by their ancestors. Not by others, given by their ancestors. Somehow they have been disconnected. And through my new book also I try to connect them, the original atlas, because South America is called Pushkar Dweep in our Shastra. And North America is called Kraunchadweep in our Shastra. Africa is called Plakshadweep in our Shastra. Australia is called Shalmali in our Shastra. Asia is called Jambudweep, and Europe is called Shakudweep. And our ancestor Bhagwan Ram's Ikshwaku once ruled, mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana by Valmiki himself, was on every single island of the planet. That's why Sugriv, wherever he went, he said, on the orders of Ikshwaku Vansh, I'm coming to do shasan on you, to discipline you. That's what he says. Therefore, if you have hidden Sita anywhere, reveal now or face death. That's what he did. So anyway, I'm very happy, Saurav, you joined, and all the people, Mangala, you are the clear winner, and also all the children who participated. Everyone will get, like as usual, every year. We send one lovely gift. Even if you're in UK, we'll send the gift to you. You'll receive within 15 days. And the certificate of participation also. Would like to add anything to this, Sonali?
Congratulations, Mangla. Keep continuing your journey. The way which the passion which you recite, the discipline with which you do the Bhagavad Gita. Awesome. And Saurabh, yes, keep interrelating every shloka to your personal life, and then you dig in more into it. And the next year, I think you will be reciting flawlessly.
Yes, definitely.
And
I'll continue it.
Thank
yes,
you very
yes.
much. Thank you.
Once in
Thank you.
Krishna consciousness, once surrender to Krishna is always with Krishna, right? You don't have a the return ticket nahi hai abhi.
Yes.
It's
And
a good way. And here also you live happily, just to add.
yes.
Yes.
And I just want to end with saying that the science, although you have already explained, if somehow we should, Aditya ji, you're so good in writing books. If somehow, we can take Gita and somehow say that these are the shlokas which are pointing to law of attraction. These are the shlokas pointing to the law of this. I think it will be changing, change the world. So, for example, if I can say chapter 4, if you go and see the 11th shloka, ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham mam vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. जैसे तुम मुझे भजोगे मैं तुम्हें वैसे ही भजूंगा. That means what vibrations you send to the universe is going to come back and send you the same vibrations. Law of attraction. This is simple law of vibration, law of attraction. Like he's just saying that in a different way. जैसे भजते हो वैसे तुम्हें मिलेगा. And then I think in chapter 2, जो अभी बहुत famous है within yoga people, if you go, they keep talking like therapists जो रहते हैं यहाँ पे, जो emotional therapist and the people who try to mental diseases, or mental breakdowns and anxiety with which the world is going through, that Krishna's one shloka, which is chapter 2, I think 63, yeah, क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः, सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः, स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः, बुद्धिनाशात् बुद्धिनाशात्
Pranashati.
pranashati. Krishna is simply saying, when you are in the fight and the flight mode, which all the psychiatrist people say, जितने भी psychiatrist लोगों के पास जाएंगे, therapist के पास जाओगे, वो बोलेंगे anxiety and the your anxiousness or your animal behavior or instinct or your ego is all because of the fight and the flight response of the mind. And Krishna is similarly saying here, as soon as you go on the anger level, तुम्हारी memory और focus shut down हो जाता है. It's like the smriti and the samoha, the delusion happens. It just shuts down. You come into the animal world. And once तुम्हारा ऊपर से connection ही गया, तो तुम जैसे भी behave करोगे, whatever you are going to throw out, you will be less energy, because the energy, infinite energy is not flowing. You're not in the flow state of Krishna's consciousness. So that state, then you are fighting and flying. And that's what Arjun is saying. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight this war, because he's gone into that state. And he wants to look up, and he's asking question, Krishna, please pull me up. So this is a fight and the flight response. We can simply relate to the science, which people are like this. So he's told that 5,000 years back. What else do you want? So, if you can relate, I feel, Aditya ji, you should have a future book where all the science terminologies can be integrated. I know there is no terminology as far as Atma Gyan is there. In Loki class, nahi. But 200 years old science is there. It's a baby. It's developing. And so it's on the physical level. It's just in the physical level. It's still a lot of years to go, before thousands of years before they can get the Atma Gyan. But whatever it is, at least a physical program through the shlokas of a Gita. That these are the back pointer, because Krishna is explaining at every level. तुम kindergarten के बच्चे भी हो तो भी तुम्हारे लिए ये है, और तुम wisdom हो, ज्ञानी हो तो भी तुम्हारे लिए ये है at any level. So that will be my suggestion to you, 2 cents, and you are so good in writing, so please do this favor for the world.
There is
I
a
have
Yes, go ahead, Saurabh.
sorry. I have one more addition point to this. Like I studied, I am a dentist in India. I did my BDS and then masters, and then I was always curious to know all the things. Once upon a time, I was an atheist, so I just prayed Hanuman like till I know the science behind whatever why we are worshipping you, then I will not. Till that time, I will be atheist. But eventually I questioned everything, and then I realized the Sanatan Dharma which we are following is actually the science based dharma, which are religious activity or culture traditions, which rituals we are doing is actually scientific. So I come to know, like Aditya ji also enlightened me in most of my stuff. And there is one more thing, in 6th century BC, there was a Charvak philosophy. So it was like Akho Dekhi, in a one word, like Akho Dekhi. Whichever things I see through my eyes, I will believe in that. So that philosophy is adopted well through the Western philosopher, and then they have started digging up the like the scientific world. That's how there is a tussle between the religion and the science world now, because science wants to see everything. That's how they develop the microscopes, electron microscope, and everything. And now they are coming to the same point, like whichever things was given into our literature. So rishis have already saw everything. Like they have described the anu, from the anu how the anus are interacting and everything. They have already elaborated it very well. But somehow some infiltrations causes our big literature lost. Because of that, most of the molecular level stuff might have been missed. What I think, like I am studying right now molecular biology, where each molecule how it is behaving and how it is creating a response. So that might be studied by our rishis, which were lost. So I am still in the phase of discovery, like how I can connect the molecular world to the dharmic world or the rituals. Most of the rituals which we are following are actually more scientific than it is just a ritual. But we have to just look beyond that in a scientific manner and also in a dharmic manner as well. So,
My suggestion will be, Saurabh, will be, and very good thoughts you have. My suggestion is only that let us, without being ashamed, follow our rituals properly.
yes,
Let them sit. Because if the moment you
So
start
true.
getting into the validation business,
ha,
because you cannot teach an asura.
Correct.
yes, yes,
Asuras are only punished. 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is full about asura. So you can identify asura. You don't have to read any political news. You don't read anything. Just read 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita and start analyzing all the politicians and everybody in the world.
Correct.
yes,
And we have to stop validating, stop asking for validation. We have to start saying, this is the way, you follow it, or else your path is different.
okay,
We have done it enough. I mean, we have been living in US for such a long time, and when earlier we used to tell people this is good, this is good, and I was a pujari in many temples, and so I used to tell them, and they will not listen to me. Then I stopped telling them, and I start doing my own thing. I keep
Correct.
my tilak, I do my japa, I walk around with the japa. Even if I play golf, then I keep doing japa also. So now they say, what you are doing? So they say, I'm doing something which you don't like to do. So, and there is no way to answer anything. In Bhagavad Gita says, you explain about Bhagavad Gita to only who is sincere.
hmm,
That's it.
पात्रता होनी
That's it.
चाहिए, पात्रता
18th chapter.
पात्रता आनी पड़ेगी उसके लिए. We have to wait
18th
for.
chapter. 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So अब we भक्त लोग तो बड़े चतुर होते हैं. We are very clever people. So we say you take Harinam once, because now उसका qualification बन जाएगा. The moment he says Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, full, not half, no Jai Shri Ram, no, full, because that's what Brahma gave to Narada. Then उसका qualification बनता है. Then we tell him one line. Then we test his faith again, because and gradually that person becomes a bhakt. But we have gotten out of the habit of telling people how great we are. We want to practice ourselves so well that they
Correct.
get inspired to see us, say how great they are.
They should question, and they should, just like I questioned it. I questioned it, and I love the way. That is why I think I have been seeing. I am from a Brahmin family, so I have seen everybody doing yajnas. My granddad was like 100 years old. Gayatri Havan 70 years. Japa for, but I did not follow that. I only followed it only when I think in yoga I was there for when I was 32. I am into Bhagavad Gita at 45 because I was having a more logical mind and I wanted to ask questions and questions and questions. And so he said, you want to ask questions? Gita is only Arjun is asking questions. Chalo, I'll tell you, ask questions. So that's and that helped me a lot. Like, it just the way the Gita is there, it's not the questions he's asking to Arjun is asking all the time, silliest of the questions he is asking or the big questions he is asking. I think if you are just like you said, Saurabh, I asked this question. Did you see that in practice? Just like just 5 minutes back, you said, I asked this question to myself. You ask this question not to yourself, ask this question to Krishna. He'll answer you. But you should know that this is an answer coming from Krishna and not from your mind.
yes,
That's the
So
difference, I guess.
yeah,
We
I
ask
wrote.
questions and we feel we have answered it and we got the answers from our own intelligence. That is more delusional. So, right, and that
In the
karma dosho pahata swabhava Prachami Tvam Dharma Samura Cheta. That means whenever you are in fear, then only I think you hold your hands like this and ask questions. But in day to day life, every day, as Aditya ji is saying, if I ask a question, even will I get this parking or not, or can you arrange for a parking, you should get an answer. We don't have to wait for that. So that's Patra. Walk the talk. That's it. Yadada Charati Shrestha. I think chapter 3, just like
and
Janak.
anyone who reads Bhagavad Gita or follows Bhagavad Gita is automatically the king of the world. Believe me. He is the best amongst the human beings, declared by Bhagavan Krishna himself. Okay, so you have that confidence. It should not result in arrogance. You're already the best, but so now you have to maintain that best. Like a topper will not talk to a person who fails in every single paper. So you're already the top of the world in any way. And the second thing, I wrote 2 translations of Gita. One for Americans, I called it the Hindu Bible. It's full Bhagavad Gita. Because they couldn't pronounce Bhagavad Gita, I said, I'll give in your name, the Hindu Bible. And the Gita I have written, which is just a translation, easy translation for people to read. And what Sonali ji was asking me, that is already done by a great Adi Sankaracharya follower, Tirth Maharaj. And I'll make sure his books are available to you.
Okay.
Because he came to our annual Lit Fest also in San Diego. Shastriji, to Kota Venkatachalam Sankaracharya from Sringeri, he has already done that work.
Of
So
course, yeah.
I'll try to see if I have that copy available, and I'll make it available.
Everything is already available. It's like I going there and searching now at my level.
No, I will connect you with that book. And
Sure, thank you. Yeah, that would be great to know, because this is I will just interact and say, hey, why is I'm not getting it? Like only few shlokas I could relate with science and the names of the laws of the nature or something. Then there must be इतना बड़ा ज्ञान विज्ञान हमारे देश का
the
है
thing
तो
is,
होगा ही.
we have to remove the misconception also. See, we are again falling into the trap of Abrahamic people. We are trying to validate Bhagavad Gita with science.
No, no,
We
no.
have to validate.
We are not doing it, but the people who want to enter, those who are just standing on the shore and they are not entering, thinking about it's a religion or, thinking that, it's not, or the
Yeah,
young generations, like the kids grown in America. So they get a little hitch. They don't know Hindi. They don't know this. They just want to stand
no,
like
we have
this.
to answer them in
They
a
see
different way.
everything from the logical point of view.
We have to answer them in a different way. In the Abrahamic culture, science is different than Bible and Quran, or even Judaism. In Sanatan Dharma, yoga is itself the science.
Correct,
So
correct.
now we have to do the another way path, debunking mythology. So we have to say what you say in science is totally nonsense, and this is what it is, right? Okay. So we have to start replacing even the word spirituality with yoga, because spirituality
Correct.
doesn't make any sense, because they don't believe in spirit soul. All the theology departments in the US are still trying to prove the existence of Bhagwan. So they're all asura, because they think Anishwaram, 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Anishwaram, because there is no control of this world. So we have to do the reverse way. Pick up there, like Jordan Peterson is one another asura here. So we have to pick up his words and say, sir, according to these 5 shloka, you are total nonsense. Now you just leave everything, leave your PhD, leave your $1 million money that you do by becoming motivational speaker, for which you need psychiatric help. Just follow yoga. The motivational speakers have destroyed this society in USA, in the West, and we have to work against them, and not against them in the sense they have to just prove that you are totally nobody. The moment you say Adhyatma, there is only one book for Adhyatma, Bhagavad Gita. There is no other book. And
Yeah,
Patanjali
yes.
has made the practice of Bhagavad Gita as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So you can practice Patanjali Bhagavad Gita by following Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That's the relationship between the two. Because Patanjali was a devotee of Bhagwan Krishna Yogeshwar. And also he mentions that Ishwar Pranidhan.
Ishwar Pranidhan, yeah.
He also Kriya Yoga. He mentions Kriya Yoga. Tapas Swadhyaya Ishwar Pranidhan. And
Yes.
also he was a student of Mahabharata and Ramayana. Patanjali did not come out of the sky. Separately he came. Nobody comes out of the sky. There is one sky of Veda and Purana Upanishad. Nobody comes outside of that. So we have to start telling the Western people and the teachers that like Shankaracharya says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Mooda Mate. Means you are Mooda, just Bhaj Govinda. Because Dukrina Karane, your bakwas, which you call it as science,
Grammar. your grammar knowledge.
Whatever they call grammar or word jugglery, English word jugglery. It's like a jugglery that is not going to save you at the time of the death. Okay? And he's referring to all these people, not just to Indians. He's referring to the entire people of the world. So we have to tell them, sir, I respect you and I want you to stop this nonsense. From today onwards, please chant Bhagavad Gita, chant the names of Sri Ram, take Maha Mantra, and do your japa. No more validation. Enough. We are not trying to equate Bhagavad Gita with science. Even for our kids also. We have to tell our kids, like I told Vede and Govind, the moment for them science is an issue because science itself is an issue. Our Vigyan is not science. Vigyan means maturity of Gyan. Once you see the Gyan, that is becomes Vigyan. So I think we're going over the time, but thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so thank you very much for helping as judge. Next year
Thank
also
you.
you will be there. And we'll send the gifts and the prizes to all the participants. Thank you
Yeah,
very
Jai
much.
Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you,
Congratulations
Jai.
again, Maya. Congratulations and keep working, Saurabh. Beautiful meeting you also. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
both
you.
of
Nice
you.
meeting you all.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
giving me this
Correct.
opportunity. I really enjoyed it, every bit of it, and keep learning. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.